अरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So we'll continue with chapter 6 of Tattvat Sutra. We were on to Sutra number 10. 10 we have
I
completed.
think you might have to share because I'm not able to get this on my computer for some reason. I've tried
Yeah, I
today.
have it. I'll just share it.
Okay.
So here we completed up to 10th sutra. Now 11th and 12th. Today we'll be starting with 11th and 12th. Before we start, what we are looking at is the causes of the karmic bondage, right? So everything is written here that if you manifest this kind of sentiments, you will bind this type of karma, right? But what is the purpose of explaining all this? So that you know that if you do this kind of sentiments, you will bind this type of karma. So you avoid those sentiments. That is the purpose, right? Now, on one hand, we say that sentiments are not in our hand. It is happening automatically. And here we are saying that this kind of sentiments bind this type of karma. So you don't manifest this kind of sentiments, right? So how do you justify that? On one side, we say that the sentiments are not in our hand. It happens automatically, right? And here we are saying that this kind of sentiments bind this type of karma. So you don't manifest this kind of sentiments. So both are seemingly contradictory. So how is it? What would be the correct interpretation of this question? You want to try?
So maybe you can repeat the question.
So on one hand, we say that the sentiments are happening automatically. Those are not in our hands, right? And here we are explaining you the causes of the bondage of karmas, right? 8 karmas and their different causes. That if you manifest this kind of sentiment, you will bind this type of karma, right? So what is the purpose of explaining? What is the purpose of explaining this causes of binding of karmas?
So here we are saying that we are manifesting. No, it is not in our hand. That is why you are manifesting.
So that manifesting, like supposing if you do much of anger, you will bind such karmas that you will end up taking birth in hell. Okay. So this is one logic. Now, on one hand, we say that the sentiments are not in our hand. It happens automatically. We cannot control.
It happens automatically and you cannot control is correct. But manifesting even before time, no?
No, that is again not a cause.
Is
So
it so
here,
that we can,
you try.
is it so that we can put our Purushat into knowing that this is the way it's going to be, but not becoming a part of it?
So the Purushat, if you talk of Purushat here, the efforts, the clear indication is that these are the karmas that you bind by manifesting this kind of sentiments. So your Purushat would be not to manifest this kind of sentiments, right? This is the effort. But on the other hand, we also say that these sentiments are not in our hand. We are only an observer. It is happening on its own, right? We also say that. So how do you align both these statements? That is my question.
Because if you manifest whatever you will manifest, then by karma it will not karma but by situation of moment, like things will align to happen that way, no? You are an observer. You can only have the right manifestation, but whether it can happen or not is not in your hand. You are only
So you are knowing the causes, that if you manifest such kind of sentiments, you will bind such karmas. Okay, you are knowing the causes. But after knowing causes, if at the end of the day, if the sentiments are not in our hand, then what is the use of knowing the sentiments? This sentiment will bind this karma. If we are not able to do anything, then what is the use of knowing these things? Right? So
it is still knowledge, no?
it is
It is
still
still
knowledge.
right.
It is still knowledge. But the knowledge where we cannot do anything, how it's going to help that knowledge? How it's going to help us? So here the clear indication is that this is a instrumental cause and effect relationship discussion going on, right? This is just showing a instrumental cause and effect relationship. Okay. So this is from Charnan Yoga, this statement that if you make this kind of sentiments, you will bind these karmas. Now, binding of karmas is again a subject of Karnan Yoga. And the sentiments that you are manifesting is Charnan Yoga. And we cannot, we are not the controller of our sentiments, is statements from Dravyan Yoga. Okay. So each exposition has its own unique way of expressing things. So when we know these statements, when we know all the four expositions, then only we can say that the statement that is being made that the sentiments are not in our hand, it is happening on its own, is a statement from Dravyan Yoga, where we are looking at the pure substance, pure soul as an observer. Okay. So that was a subject of Dravyan Yoga. Now, when we say that if you manifest such sentiments, you will bind such karmas. So manifesting of sentiments is a subject of Charnan Yoga. Okay. And the binding of karma is a subject of Karnan Yoga. Everything goes hand in hand. Okay. Only thing is that we have a limitation of language to express one exposition at a time. But as far as our knowledge is concerned, we can know all the four going simultaneously. We can know simultaneously, but we cannot express simultaneously. So here all the statements are being made from the conventional point of view. The sentiments are from the Charnan Yoga point of view, and the karmas binding are from the Karnan Yoga point of view. Okay. And when we say that we are not the doer of sentiments, that is Dravyan Yoga. So there is no contradiction. Each has its own unique way of expressing the things. Okay. So what we need to do is we have to know all the four expositions, and then we have to balance it in our knowledge so that we don't feel that we are helpless also on one hand, and on the other hand, we are putting the right efforts by not manifesting those kind of sentiments which binds such kind of karmas. Because when you have this knowledge that if I criticize Darshit ji, then I will be binding such karmas. So the next step would be, obviously, if I understand this statement, the next step would be I won't criticize Darshitji, right? So this is the purpose of this cause and effect relationship, right? But when we talk of Dravyanyog, then we say that we are not the doer of these sentiments, okay? So we have to understand it in the right perspective. So all the statements where the karma theory is related will be all statements from conventional point of view, Vyavhar Kathan, okay? So Vyavhar Kathan is okay. From Vyavhar point of view, these are all statements are okay. Charnanyog, Karnanyog and Pratmanyog. All these three expositions presents only conventional point of view. And Dravyanyog only presents the substance point of view. Real point of view, sorry. Real point of view, okay? Real point of view. So all the statements from Dravyanyog would be from real point of view, and all the three other exposition will be conventional point of view. So this difference will always remain. Having said that, all four exposition goes hand in hand, right? Only thing is that we can talk only of one exposition at a time. That is the limitation of talk. But as far as the manifestation is concerned, as far as the transformation of modification is concerned, everything is going on simultaneously. On one hand, we know that we are not the doer of sentiments. And on the other hand, we know that if we manifest this sentiment, we will bind those karmas. So everything picture is clear. Okay. So when we say that because of Jnana karma, I am not able to understand something, my knowledge is poor, right? So that means that the karma does not do anything in the soul. That only means that karmas are an instrumental cause, and the soul, due to its own eligibility of the moment, is manifesting in a less um, less exposition of knowledge. Okay, it is own eligibility of the soul. Karma is only an instrumental cause, but as a conventional point of view, we always say that because of Jnana and karma, I am not able to understand it in one time. And Darshitji has got sharp memory, so he understands in one time because his Jnana and karma are less than mine. So this kind of statement could be made, but we have to understand it in the right perspective. Okay. So this was, I was yesterday when I finished the class, I thought that let me clarify this. Otherwise, if you don't know all the perspective, then like you will not be able to comprehend it properly. Okay. So now the 11th sutra. So I have shared you 5 pages from the Hindi textbook of the previous textbook that I shared, you know. So I am getting it translated. It will take 2-3 days. I'll get it translated, and then we will do the discussion on that the next week. Okay. Let's understand what is given in the textbook. Right now, Tatvatmani Pradeep, and the balance causes that we will see later on when we finish this chapter. Okay. So in meantime, the translation would also be ready. So these are some additional points. Basic is given here, right? Yesterday we studied about the causes of the influx of Darshana and Jnana karma, right? So that we did yesterday. 1 minute. Yes. Okay. So now the sutra number 11. I wanted to do, have you, any of you taken printout of this? Have any one of you have taken printout of this? Then I will do the corrections. I will tell you about the corrections. Otherwise, I'm going to get it corrected in a few days, and then I will share the corrected version. Okay. So now you just look at the screen and you can read it. So the 11th and 12th sutra are regarding the causes of Vedniya Karma Asrav. Asrav is influx of feeling producing karma. Okay. So what are the causes? Why we bind such karmas? The karmas don't get bound automatically. When you manifest something, then only the karma gets bind. Otherwise, it doesn't come automatically, you know. So this is one point. The second point is whatever karma you have bound, you have only to suffer. It is not that you bound and your spouse will suffer, or the children's bound and the parents will suffer. No, it doesn't happen like that. Whatever sentiments we manifest, accordingly our karma gets bound, and that comes into fruition, then we are only going to enjoy the fruit or the sufferings, whatever it is. Okay. So these are the causes of influx of feeling producing karma, Vedniya karma. Aditi, you read.
After discussing the causes of Jnanavaran and Dachnavaran karma ashrav, we now examine the causes of Vedniya karma ashrav through two sutras.
So these sutras I am reading. Okay. Duk, Shok, Tap, Akrandan, Vad, Pari, Devna, Nanya, Tam, Parobhay, Sthananya, Sadedasya. This is the 11th one. And the 12th one, Bhut, Vratyuna, Kampadan, Sarag Sanyama, Diyog, Shanti, Ha, Soch, Miti, Sadedasya. So now you can read the English part. Yeah. So this 11 and 12 I read. Now you have to read from here. Experiencing. You are on mute or what?
No, I am not on mute, sir. Can you ask somebody else to take it? My daughter just needs me for 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Darshiji, you can start.
Okay, Jai Jinendra. Experiencing dukh, pain, sukh, grief, tap, remorse.
You can read the English ones only. That will also be fine.
Okay. Wailing, killing, lamentation, whether directed at oneself, others, or both, leads to the ashrav of asata vednya karma. On the other hand, showing compassion towards living beings, giving charity to monks, practicing self-restraint with attachment, observing partial self-discipline, cultivating forgiveness, and maintaining sukh, purity or non-greed, result in the ashrav of sata vednya karma. The first one, emotional states that bring suffering are termed dukh. Mental distress arising from separation from the desired is called sukh. Intense regret or repentance is tap. Crying loudly due to suffering is akrandana. Taking the life of any being is vad. Crying so bitterly that it melts the heart of the listener is called paridevana. Thus, those who suffer themselves, cause suffering to others, or inflict distress upon both themselves and others, generate the ashrav of asata vednya karma.
Stop. So you see, Sata is pleasant, pleasant feeling producing karma. Okay, Sata Vednya. And Asata Vednya is unpleasant feeling producing karma. Okay. So first one is pain. Emotional states that bring suffering are termed as pain. Okay. The second is mental distress arising from separation from the desired is called grief. Okay, so when someone of your family members expires, we experience this mental distress. Okay. Or if somebody takes our something or steals something, and then also we feel such mental distress. The third is remorse, intense regret. Regret or remorse, you can, regret is also a synonym of remorse only. Intense regret or repentance is tap. So you see the diacritics above A, it is spelled as ah. Okay, when there is a diacritics above any word, it will be ah. So it is tap and not tap. Okay, tap is a austerity. Tap is regret, remorse. Okay, the next fourth one is wailing. Wailing means crying deeply. Okay, crying loudly, not deeply but loudly. Crying loudly due to suffering is wailing. Fifth one, taking the life of any being is killing. Word is killing. Okay, and the last one, lamentation. Lamentation, yeah, lamentation means deep sorrow or weeping, crying so bitterly that it melts the heart of the listener is called lamentation. So all these are emotions, okay? All these are sentiments that we manifest at one point time or the other time. But when we do such things, what happens? We bind unpleasant feeling producing karma, okay? So we are also binding unpleasant feeling producing karma, and the others also, they are also binding this karmas, because they are, if you are crying, what would be their reaction? They cannot laugh, right? So they are also involved in this. So in the last line it is written like that. Thus those who suffer themselves, okay, so when we do it, we suffer ourselves, causes suffering to others. So others are also like, they also feel sad about it. Or inflict distress upon both self also and the others also. Inflict distress upon both themselves and others, generate the influx of unpleasant feeling producing karma. Okay. So when somebody expires, the women have a tendency to cry, they keep on crying. Even if it is an 80-year-old, they will cry. If it is a 90-year-old, they will cry. They are mostly very sentimental, so they cry, and everyone cries, the whole atmosphere is crying. And the logic given behind is that they could not handle the pain or the sorrow by the separation of the loved ones, so that is an obvious, you have an attachment with your family members, and it is quite natural. But what Jainism says that you analyze it, what has happened. Everyone has come here with a fixed lifespan. You cannot prolong your lifespan by 1 second also. It is fixed. When you took the birth, it is fixed and it cannot be changed anytime. Okay. Before getting the birth, it could change. Like in case of Shrenik Maharaja, he had bound a lifespan of 33 Sagaropam. But when he manifested right belief and when he became a destructional right believer, Saik Samyak Drashti, at that point of time, that lifespan of 33 Sagarpam got reduced to 84,000. Okay. And he was supposed to go to the seventh hell. And that also, the potential also got reduced and he went to first hell. So this much changes was done, but that was before the birth. Once the birth is taken, there could not be any changes. So one thing is this one, right? Everyone's age is fixed. Then the second factor that you should consider is that the soul does not die. So you are crying for somebody who was a soul and he never dies. Only the body keeps on changing. That's all. So why are you crying? When the soul does not die, why are you crying? Right? This is the second. Then third also, while you are in the family, you practice discriminative knowledge. Okay. It is not that when something will happen, then you start practicing. No. Beforehand only. All this knowledge that you will acquire over a period of 5 years, each and every subject offers you some perspective, some insight into how to design your life. Okay. So in the first place only we make all these decisions that whoever has come to this earth, who has taken a birth, is with death only. And that's a fixed lifespan. Nobody can increase, nobody can decrease. So uh, we are now into this family, and we didn't knew about all this Jainism before that. So what do I do now? No problem. You start now only. In spite of remaining in the family atmosphere, in spite of remaining among the associations that you have got, you can still practice discriminative knowledge, because soul journey is entirely different from the journey of the body. Body is like a robot. It has been programmed, and so it is programming certain functions at certain times according to the fixed programmed that has been done in it. Okay. And we are not the doer of it. We as a soul are only a knower. So if this much of things you can analyze, you will feel very light when anything happens, So as in a drama, the actors do rehearsals, many rehearsals, they get, the director is there, the producer, and the whole team is there, and they teach them how to utter the dialogues and actions and whatever it is. So after intense practice, continuous practice, they are able to master a scene, and when they are on the stage, then they are able to execute those actions very flawlessly, just because they have practiced earlier. Similarly, the science of discrimination or discriminative knowledge is something that we should practice now, not when something happens. No, we should practice beforehand. Okay. And if you have practiced, then only when the original situation will come, you will be able to manage it. Okay. So you may ask question, how it is possible? We are so close to each other, how we can not feel grief at that point of time? Yeah, momentary grief would be there. Depends again on your effort at that point of time. If you have practiced very rigorously and smartly, and you have understood the whole concept very properly, I think you can able to manage. You will be able to manage. As you have seen, what was your level of knowledge 2 years ago before joining this course, and now also the same things happen in your life, day-to-day life, but your reactions are not the same. What was your earlier reaction and what is your reaction now is just the difference because of the understanding that you have developed. Okay. So similarly, with practice, you can achieve everything. Now consider the case of a monk. Somebody is inflicting pain on him, tearing apart his body, and that monk is absorbed in himself. How is that possible? Five Pandavas, after three Pandavas, five Pandavas were meditating, and uh, his enemy, his enemy's descendant, they were passing from there, and they saw this five Pandavas in the meditation pose, and they thought of taking revenge. So he came down and he heated up the jewelry made of iron, okay, and put them on their head, all the five Pandavas. And three Pandavas were absorbed in their deep introspective meditation. They never reacted. They were just extracting the happiness from their soul. They were busy in enjoying that happiness. So it didn't impact them, and they manifested omniscient knowledge and they got liberated. The younger two, Nakul and Sadev, they thought, they had an auspicious thought that what elder brothers would be going under through. With that subtle thought, of welfare of elder brothers, bound them a life in the heaven of 33 Sagaropam. Very long period. So this is the something you now consider the monk. So monk also practice, just because the monk has been practicing it so intentionally, so rigorously, so they have been able to manage those situations without being getting affected. And we also can do that with practice. Okay. So it is not the same level that we can do at monk stage. That same level cannot be achieved at householder level. But according to our level, we can still do something if we practice. Okay. So there is nothing impossible. Everything is possible, provided you put in the right efforts, in the right direction, and the right guidance, and your decision making power. All this makes a difference. Hope now everything is clear. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. So now this was unpleasant feeling producing karma. Now we are going to discuss the pleasant feeling producing karma, the next paragraph. In general, all living beings are referred to as bhoot. Bhoot is a Hindi word. The English word is ordinary living beings. Okay. However, the term bhoot is used here has no connection to the Vyantar class of celestial beings. Okay. Bhavanvasi Dev. No. Vyantar class of celestial beings known as Bhoot Vyantar Dev. Showing compassion, Anukampa. Showing compassion towards ordinary living beings. So here it is written, bracket, ordinary living beings. So here the chat GPT didn't pick up, but here it is picked up. So you can just write it down there also in the bracket, ordinary living beings. Respectfully inviting and offering food to partial woe holders. Okay. Partial woe holders, Anuvrati. And especially offering food and other essentials to complete woe holder. So who are the complete woe holders? The monks. Okay. And who are the partial woe holders? The householder. Okay. It could be Elak, Shulak, or an Arjika Mata also. But those are householders because they are partial woe holders. So monks is a complete woe holder. So especially offering food and other essentials to complete woe holder monk with ninefold devotion. Oh, this is very good. Ninefold devotions. Navda Bhakti, So when the monk comes for food, the householder does this ninefold devotion. And then he invites monk to his place. Everything is pure and according to what you can consume. So please have it. So this kind of request he made, and then the monk, if it matches his ideas, then only he consumes the food in the householder's place. Okay. And that also standing only. They don't sit. And they don't take any plates. They take it in their hands. And that also only 32, what it is called? Jayshriji, what it is said? 32 not pulse.
Mouthful, sir.
Huh?
32 mouthful.
Yeah,
32
Bites.
bytes, 32 bytes, but there is a word for that.
Anjali, sir.
No. In English it is called 1 minute. What was the word? I'm not coming.
morsels.
Moses.
Moses.
Moses, right. Moses.
Yeah.
Moses, right. So only 32 Moses. Okay. So that is how a monk accepts food and consumes food in that manner. With ninefold devotion, okay? Practicing self-restraint, संयम धारण करके, practicing self-restraint with attachment, sarag संयम, okay? With attachment, following partial self-discipline. Partial self-discipline means sanyam and asayam. So there is little bit of self-restraint and there is little bit of non-self-restraint. So both put together is a partial self-restraint or discipline. 1 minute. I have written. Yeah. Okay. So there are around eight points in this paragraph. I'm just giving you the numbers. Let me finish it up. Engaging in spiritual practices, yoga, maintaining peace, shanti, preserving purity, pavitrata, and refraining from intense greed and other passions, such activities lead to the influx of pleasant feeling producing karma. Okay, pleasant feeling producing karma. So if you want to bind such karmas, you have to practice this. So practicing this is Charnan Yoga. The bondage of karma would be Karnan Yoga. And at the same time, if you look at from Dravyan Yoga, we are only a knower of all these things. Okay. So this is how you should interpret to understand the complete picture. And those who are able to apply the three expositions in all the situations of his day-to-day life, they will be appreciated, and that is Pratman Yoga. So all four expositions coming together. Okay. So this was pleasant feeling producing karma. So now I'll be giving you the numbers. Showing compassion is number 1. Respectfully inviting is number 2. Then Mahavrati, complete woe holders, is number 3 with ninefold devotions. Number 4 is practicing self-restraint. Then 5th, following partial self-discipline. Then 6th, engaging in spiritual practices. Spiritual practices, yoga means through mind, through speech, and through body. Okay. Then number 7 is maintaining peace. Number 8 is preserving purity. And number 9, refraining from intense greed and other passions. Okay. So if you do such things, you will be binding pleasant feeling producing karma. And when those karmas will come into fruition, you will get all the good associations in your life. Okay. The phrase Bhut Vratyanu Kampadan can also be interpreted as showing compassion towards both. Bhut means ordinary living beings and Vrati means woe holders, and offering them respectful and appropriate donations, which becomes the cause of the bondage of the Sata Vedniya karma. Okay. So this compassion, Anukampa, is of 2 types. First one, compassion towards ordinary living beings, and compassion towards woe holders. Thus, one should offer compassion and charity to ordinary living beings and respectfully provide appropriate food and other necessities to woe holders. Woe holders are of 2 types again, partial woe holder and complete woe holder. Therefore, offering food and other necessities to partial woe holder with respect and invitation, and to complete woe holder with ninefold devotions, are considered as causes of influx of pleasant feeling producing karma. The description of woe will be elaborated in the 7th chapter. So this is the end of 11 and 12 sutra number. Okay. And the true purpose, that's only a quote, you know, when there is a gap available in the page, they put in some quotes from other book. So this has been taken from Bara Bhavna, 12 Reflections by Dr. Bharilji. So this is only a quote. This is not part of our syllabus. Okay. So we are not reading that. The next one, causes of monia karmas influx, causes of the influx of deluding karma. Monia karma is deluding karma. It has got two divisions. One is faith deluding karma and other is conduct deluding karma. Darshan monia, charitra monia. These are the two divisions of deluding karma. Okay. After discussing Vedniya karma, we now examine the cause. Yes, better. So after discussing Vedniya karma, we now examine the cause of the influx of deluding karma as stated in the following verse. So verse number is 13 and 14. Yeah, 13 and 14. I think 13 and 14. Okay. Kevli Srut Sang Dharma Dev Varnavado Darshan Mohasya. So first one is about the faith deluding karma. What are the causes of faith deluding karma? And second one is about conduct deluding karma. What are the causes of conduct deluding karma? Kashayo dayatrivra parinamascharitramosya. Okay. So this is the transliteration, but it's very difficult. Slandering. Okay. So what do you mean by slandering? Slandering means unnecessary criticism or trying to defame somebody, you know, this is called slandering. In Hindi it is called avarnavad. Slandering the Kevli, omniscient being. Just imagine if you are slandering the omniscient being, or if you are slandering the scriptures, if you are slandering the monastic order, the congregation of monks, if you are slandering the dharma, the religion, if you are slandering the celestial beings, then it leads to the influx of faith deluding karma. Okay. The second one, the charitramonia. Due to the rise of passions, when one's mental states become intensely impure, the asrav of charitramonia karma occurs. Asrav means influx. Influx of conduct deluding karma occurs. Saying that the Aryant Bhagwan consumes solid food, you know, is an example of slandering the omniscient being. Okay. So the omniscient being never consumes food. Okay. So because he has he has destroyed all the 18 blemishes, Shuddha, Trusha, Ye. So there is no hunger. So why he should take food? Okay. But still saying that the Aryant Bhagwan consumes solid food is an example of slandering the Kevli. The next one, about the scriptures. Claiming that the scriptures permit meat consumption, is an example of slandering the sacred text or scriptures. Third one, falsely accusing monks and their monastic community is is monastic community, slandering of monastic community. Okay. Sangha avanvad. Fourth one, finding faults in the non-violent three jewels of Jainism, Ratnatraya. Okay. Finding faults in the non-violent three jewels of Jainism or misrepresenting the passionlessness religion as full of attachment is slandering of religion. Okay, so you are talking wrong things about all these things. So what kind of karma you will bind? You will bind the faith deluding karma. Okay, so when you bind faith deluding karma, your right belief becomes very distant. Okay, so we should be very mindful what kind of sentiments we do, what kind of activities we do through mind, speech, and body. Okay, so if you are able to understand this properly, automatically you will not be doing or indulging in such activities. Similarly, attributing false defects to celestial beings, okay, accusing them of being addicted to alcohol or consuming meat, okay, is slandering of celestial beings. Okay, so in other texts it is also given that they also said that the celestial beings have uh, sex with human woman, they also say like that, but these are all false. They are never addicted to alcohol, they never consume alcohol, they never consume meat. All these are false implications. Thus, falsely accusing Dev Shastra Guru. Okay, so Dev is gods, Shastra is scriptures, and Guru is preceptor. Dharma is religion, and celestial beings from the celestial realm leads to the influx of faith deluding karma, which is the cause of wrong belief. Okay, which is the cause of wrong belief karma. Now about the conduct. Likewise, the intense emotions arising from the passions such as an extreme anger, etc. etc. is written here, but it's not here written here. So it's not only the anger, but etc. So all the 25 passions you can add here. Okay. So thus falsely, okay. Likewise, the intense emotion arising from passions such as extreme anger, etc., lead to the influx of conduct deluding karma, meaning the bondage of karma related to anger and other passions. So here it is written anger and other passions. So here also you should write etc. So then it will have a complete meaning. So this is the end of the 13th, 14th sutra. Now we are moving on to the next one. The causes of Ayu Karma Asrava. So causes of influx of lifespan determining karma. Okay. One minute. Huh? Okay. So again, this is a statement. The path of Jain Darshan, Jain philosophy is one of complete self-reliance. So this is taken from another book. So this is just a quote, not part of our syllabus. Okay. Now, causes of Ayu karmas, asrav, that is causes of influx of lifespan determining karma. After discussing the causes of influx of deluding karma, we now describe the influx of lifespan determining karma as stated in the following verses. Verse number 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 5. I'll just read the Hindi version. Yeah. बहु आरंभ परिग्रहत्वं नारकस्य स्युषु माया तैर्ययोग्यनस्य अल्प आरंभ परिग्रहत्वं मनुष्यस्य स्वभाव मार्दवम च निशील्त्र व्रतत्वम च सर्वेषां सराग संयम संयम काम निर्जरा बाल तपांसी देवस्य सम्यक्त्वम च. Cha means and. So they have, in Sanskrit there is a system that they write and at the end. Okay. So these were the 15 to 21 sutras. Now I'll explain you each sutra. So the first one is the 15th one. Excessive engagement in violence. Okay. Violence means sinful activity. Excessive engagement in sinful activity and excessive, not attachment, but possession. You can correct here. A Hindi word is parigra, so parigra is possession. Excessive parigra leads to the influx of hellish lifespan karma. So a person who is having 100 crores, and he still keeps on earning. So what he will bind? He will bind a life in hell. Okay, because here the logic is given very clearly that excessive engagement in violence. Violence is sinful activity, of course. So engaging in such sinful activities and excessive possession, parigraha. Okay, excessive possession. So whatever you require for this life is okay. That is still permissible. But beyond that is all going into the account of your binding inauspicious karma, which may lead you to a life of a hellish being. Okay. Who will understand this concept? Nobody. Everyone is now in the rat race. They want to become number one. Adani, Ambani, Tata, Birla, all those. And if you look at world level, it is Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and they keeps on changing numberings. So what is this? This is called excessive possessions. Okay. And this is the cause of getting life in hell. So very difficult to understand this. Only because of Chinwani, we are able to know such things. So we make a full stop to everything. Everything in excess is going to be detrimental to our spiritual journey. So we should realize these things and act accordingly. The main part is taking action. Many a people also understand, but while taking an action, they lack that bravery. So it needs immense bravery, and that bravery will come only by taking decisions. Okay, arriving at a conclusions. Yes. Now the next one, this was 15th. Okay, the 16th one. Deceptive conduct leads to the influx of animal lifespan karma. Okay, so if you are evading tax, income tax, sell tax, GST, whatnot, okay, or if you are cheating somebody, every nowadays in the newspaper, people, cyber frauds happening, so many cyber frauds happening, and people are reading it and still they fall into that trap. They enter some group and then they are shown trading. They are introduced to a trading platform, and then they show them profit, that you have made such and such profit. So when he goes on to withdraw, they will say you have to first pay 30% tax. So then that fellow will pay, and then he will realize that now nobody is picking up the phone. So then he complains to the cyber fraud department, and then it's too late. So everything this is happening, and still people get cheated. So this is something because of only the delusion, moh. So deceptive conduct leads to the influx of animal lifespan karma. So all those people who are doing this kind of activities, they will end up in animal lifespan karmas. Okay. The third one, limited violence. Limited violence means minimal violence. Okay. And minimal possessions. Okay. Alpa arambha, alpa parigra. Minimum. So now here parigra, they have written possession. But on the top, the chat GPT has written excessive attachment. So these are minor connections that we have to do. But sometimes if you are not reading it very minutely, you may miss the corrections, and then your understanding will also be not correct. Okay. So this is about the 16th one. Now the 17th. Limited or minimal violence and minimal possessions leads to the influx of human lifespan karma. So how do you get a human life? If you have limited limited violence and minimal possession. Okay. So if you want to get a human life again, you have very minimal possessions. Okay. 18th one. Next. A naturally gentle disposition. Swabhav. Acha, Mardav. Also leads to the influx of Manushya. Okay. So you should be very straightforward. Okay. Uttam Mardav. You should not feel, you should not be proudy. You should be very simple, straightforward. And if you are that, then also that is also a cause of getting a human lifespan. So there are two causes for getting a human lifespan, 17 and 18. Both you should answer. 19th, those who do not observe the 5 minor vows, okay, Anuvrat, or it is written or, but no, it will not be or, it will be and. Sorry. Those who do not observe the 5 minor vows, I have to look at my textbook also because I have done corrections here and there. So if I am reading from soft copy, then I will not be able to remember those mistakes. So that's why I have to look at the my printout also. Okay. So those who do not observe the 5 minor vows or the 7 disciplinary rules, Shaptasil. Okay. Even while practicing limited violence and attachment. Okay. So limited violence and again it will be minimal possessions. Okay. Minimal violence and minimal possession, not attachment. There is another connection here. Accumulate influx for all types of Ayu karma. Okay. So this was 19. 19 still we are continuing with 19. Beings in Bhog Bhumi, pleasure lands. Okay. So now we are in the 5th era. So when there was 1st era, 2nd era and 3rd era, this particular land, Bharat Kshetra, was called as Bhog Bhumi. Okay. Pleasure lands. And when the 4th era started, it became a Karma Bhumi. Karma Bhumi means you have to work for your livelihood. In the first 3 eras, because of this pleasure lands, people don't have to work. There were Kalpa Vruksh. You just think and you get the things. If you are hungry, you think of the food and the food will be ready. Such was the arrangement at that point of time. Then in the when the 4th era started with Rishabhdeva being the first Tirthankar, he started Asi, Masi, Krasi, the business, the art and farming, all this started because now people have to work for their livelihood. Okay. Because the Kalpa Vruksh were not there. It has started fading and that came to an end. So the presence, okay. Being in Bhog Bhumi, pleasure lands do not observe vows, okay, or ethical conduct, shil, yet they accumulate the influx of celestial lifespan karma, okay. So still they get birth in celestial lifespan karma. 1 minute, I have to just check the Hindi version. So those living beings who were in pleasure lands, even they did not observe vows or ethical conduct, yet they got birth in the, they got influx of karmas of celestial lifespan. Okay. Now the 20th one, the presence of passionate restraint. Okay. The presence of passionate restraint. Restraint is Sanyam and passionate is Sarag with attachment. Okay. Restraint with attachment. Partial restraint. Sanyam, asanyam. Okay. Non-attachment based austerity. Akam nirjara. So this is tap. Austerity means tap. Non-attachment based austerity. And childish austerity. Bal tap. Also contribute to the influx of celestial lifespan karma, getting a birth in the celestial being. The last one, 21. Yeah, 21. Even right belief is considered a cause of being born in a celestial beings. So there are 4 kinds of celestial beings. The you must have discussed in Chaydala. Vijalji taught you Chaydala. So in Chaydala, in the first dal itself, 4 kinds of celestial beings were discussed. So 3 were the lower category. 3 are in the lower category. The Bhavanvasi, Vyantar and Jyotisi. So Jyotisi are stellar and Vyantar is peripatetic and Bhavanvasi is I think Bhavanvasi is what? Bhavanvasi, palace, living in palace, something like that. I don't remember exact word. So all these 3 are of lower category celestial beings. And the Vaimanik Dev, okay, is an upper category celestial being. Okay. So now some explanation is given in the next paragraph. With that, we will understand. Keeping in mind that a Samyak Drashti, right believer, being does not take birth as a Bhavanvasi, Vyantar or Jyotisi deity. This means that they are always born as Vaimanik deities. Okay. So if you manifest right belief here, you will end up in Vaimanik Dev only. And there you will get chance to listen to sermons, you know. And they keep on discussing about the religion only all the time. So Kunkund Acharya right now is in that stage, you know. So this is about Vaimanik deities. While Samyak Darshan is possible for Bhavanvyasi, Vyantar and Jyotisi deities, no being is ever born with Samyak Darshan in these forms. Okay. While, so this is the causes that they are saying that who gets a Vaimanik life, you know, Vaimanik life. So the Samyak Drashti. the one who has manifested the right belief, they take birth in the upper category of celestial beings, that is Vaimanic deities. Okay. So other three categories also you can manifest right belief. It is not impossible. Okay. While Samyak Darshan is possible for Bhavanvasi, Vyantar and Jyotisi date, no being is ever born with Samyak Darshan in these forms. Okay. So you cannot carry your right belief if you are getting a birth in these three. You can manifest new there, but you cannot carry it forward from here to these three lower categories of celestial beings. But if you are a right believer here, you can carry it if you go to the Vaimanic Dev. But your stage would be fourth stage only. You cannot go beyond fourth stage as a celestial being. So you cannot practice restraint over there. Okay. That is the limitation. If a Samyak Drashti, right believer being, is born as a human or a subhuman, they will be reborn as a Vaimanic Dev. Okay. What is the name of Vaimanic Dev? I don't remember. Okay. But not as a goddesses. Devi nahi honge, devta hi honge. Okay. But not as a goddesses. If they are born as a Dev or a Narki, they will take rebirth as a human. And even among humans, only as a male human. Okay. Last one. Although Samyak Darshan is not the cause of influx, it is a cause of the stoppage of influx. Samyak Darshan. Okay. It is not the cause of influx. It is a cause of stoppage of influx. Samyakti beings, right believer, take birth only as Vaimanic Deva. Therefore, it has been included among the causes of celestial being lifespan. Influx of celestial being lifespan. So again, this is from Satya Ki Khoj. This is a statement, and I think this definition, Sarag Sanyam. I think this is part of our only. So Sarag Sanyam is self-restraint with attachment. Sarag, rag is attachment. Sa means with attachment. Sanyam is self-restraint. Observing self-restraint with attachment. Then Sanyama Sanyam, partial self-restraint, a state where one renounces tras hinsa, mobile beings, violence towards mobile beings, but does not renounce violence towards immobile beings. Okay. The third one is akam nirjara, undesired shedding of karma. The shedding of karma by enduring hunger, thirst, and hardship without desire and with peaceful acceptance. Okay. So you will have this kind of shedding of karma undesired. The last one is baltap, ignorant austerity. Austerity performed without self-awareness is baltap. So this is all. Next class we will begin with Nam karma. Okay. Nam, and then we have Nam karma, and then I think Gotra karma. Okay, then we have Antrai karma also is left. So 3 are left that we will take up in next class. And by meantime, if I'm getting those translated also, so that also we will do next class. Okay, so understanding all these sentiments leads to such and such bondage. We should restrain from manifesting such kind of sentiments or emotions. Okay, this is from Charnan Yog. Okay. So I think now everything is clear to you, that from words perspective, what is being said, that you have to understand. Yeah, your question, Darshiti.
Okay, thank you. We were talking about excessive possessions earlier on,
Right.
and on the other side, there's also lob, which is being a miser, right?
Hmm.
So, how do you balance the two then? Excessive possessions versus being a miser.
Miser to means kanjus, the one who does not spend money, right?
Yeah.
So how you can, if you are a miser, then also it is a kind of emotion, right? It's a kind of flaw. Okay. And excessive possession is again a flaw. Excessive possession means what? Whatever you require, whatever you feel insecure, to that extent you can keep possession as a householder, right? As a householder, we always uh, we have our family, our children. So if the children tomorrow ask, hey, Papa, I want to buy that bike of 5 lakhs rupees. And then you will say that, no, I cannot afford. So you have to see the upbringing that you have given to your children. And accordingly, you have to arrange for, if they want to go to a very good college, that might cost you 50 lakhs. So you have to provide those. It's not that. So depending on the situation that you are in, you have to decide what is enough for you. Okay. And you have to strike a limit over there and try to manage.
Sir, I think here the balance is just what I
Mhm.
need.
Yes, your need and little bit extra, like considering the inflation, the cost are getting higher. So you have to provide,
Part of
because
the need, no,
because
that
once you stop earning, then you are not going to go again and earn, right? So
correct.
better be secured. Whatever
No,
you
no,
feel like,
agreed. What I think what he's saying is excessive possession versus miser. It is just that
both are opposites.
so he's just like how to ensure that the question here is how to ensure that you are not on either of the extremes, right?
Yes, both are extremes.
So we just have to say, and you're just saying little extra, that little extra is a part of your need only.
Yeah, part of need only.
It is part of need only.
Ah,
So just as
right.
much as you need.
So you have to consider the future expenses and everything you consider, and then you set a limit. Okay. And then you work for it. And then you retire. You do full-time study. But the people have developed a kind of passion for accumulating wealth. All these people, you see the startups that they are doing, and young people, they are having 6,000 crores, and this Oyo and Bhavish Agarwal, and the all the new startups that have come, they have developed a different way of doing business. Nobody thought about this kind of business, the online business and whatnot have come, like it keeps on coming. So they have so much of money, but still they still want to have more, so the desire is unlimited. You cannot satisfy any desire. So
It may not,
if
it
you
may
want,
not be the desire for money, it may be desire to create something that the society.
so
It's not
that
the
after all, it is a
the
desire
passion
only.
is not necessarily the money.
It is not the money, it is the pride. There are a lot of things involved in that. The
Correct.
money is there, the fame is there, the pride is there, the jealousy is there. If you analyze, no, you will find many kind of other emotions attached to it.
Correct.
It is not only the money, apart from money. So that's why it is considered one of the sins. Possession is one of the sin. So now your
Sir,
net worth is
it
increasing.
can't be that even the karma is giving them more than what they need.
So then you donate. Then you donate.
But if they are getting, they might
So
get more than
you
what
you
they
have to maintain that balance with you. That what is minimal for you, that to sustain this life, that much you have to keep for yourself. And the balance, you look for opportunities where you can invest money. You know the opportunities in terms of in the field of religion, like you make a university, you make a temple. There are some people who are not able to do dev darshan every day because there are very few people over there and they have no funds to construct a temple. So you construct a temple for them, because once you construct a temple, for centuries, people participate in those activities, and it's a all-round development for that community in that place.
Isn't that also another
So,
form of
see,
passion?
the thing is that if you
ऐसे हो
understand,
रहा है कि एक पैशन से आप दूसरे में जाते हो.
हाँ,
Greed one is better than the other, but कर्मा तो build होते ही जा रहा है.
so like, first of all, you are not doing intentionally, as
Correct.
Rajeshri ji said. If the karma is there and you keep on getting money and
Correct.
money, you know, so like supposing you are holding some stocks and the price keeps on suddenly going up, what you can do? So at that point of time, now people have taken vows on this level, you know, that I will not have money more than say some X crores. Now, if their wealth goes above that, then they immediately donate it. So they keep their level, whatever they have thought of, they keep to that limit, and extra, they donate it. And they look for opportunities. You know, there are many opportunities to invest.
Sir, that's what the Ambanis and all are doing, sir. They, whatever they get excess, they're also donating. It's
Yeah,
not that they are not.
they are doing
They are doing a
philanthropy,
lot.
but they
They're
have
not
not
doing.
stopped the earning part.
But why should they stop, sir? They're doing charity also so much.
So here,
They're
if you
doing
read,
charity also. You see, Jamnagar, every family in Jamnagar is taken care very well who are working in their factories. Unless you have that excess,
but
you're not going to give.
what about you are binding karmas for getting a life in hell? Who is going to suffer that?
That is not their priority today. Their priority is
So we are
something
talking at
different.
our level. We are talking at our level.
At our level, sir, we can draw a line.
Yeah.
But those are such big companies who can't draw a line because it's a number game for them.
So
I want to be on the top of the list.
their destiny is poor and our destiny is very rich. You know, we have
Yes,
got access to
definitely.
this. We have got access to this. We may not
That is
have
how we make
that kind of
ourselves happy
money.
about it. No, that is how we make
And one
ourselves
more
happy.
thing,
We don't
I'll
know.
tell you. Your auspicious binding of auspicious karma is going on. And that's how you end up in celestial being Vaimanik Dev. Right? So you're in the next birth, you will have your own aeroplane, you know, own aeroplane, the Viman. These devs have Vimans, chartered Viman, chartered plane. You take up your own aeroplane and you move. So you are binding anyway auspicious karma. If you are not earning also, those who have done limitations, they are still binding auspicious karma wholesale.
Intentional, unintentional way.
And they end up getting birth in a kingdom, in a king's family, or Indra, Chakravarti. All these are only taken by right believers only.
But might be one day they will get that knowledge and they will sacrifice it. They get that thing. The day will come. For everyone it comes, sir. The day and time comes where you think, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Till then it's always greed more than need.
Yes.
For everyone. It is greed more than need.
And you know, the system is like that. The more you get, the more you become
the more
greedy.
You want, and you become more miser.
You keep little for retirement. You keep little, you consider inflation.
That little you don't know.
That little
is not. No, that little you don't know is
that
what's
little is so much more. There are people who don't even have that little and they're still surviving. So
no, so the way
you have only set that bar, no?
So we have to set our own limitations.
You have to set
the way inflation is
so
going
like
up, sir,
somebody
you don't know what is
somebody who is accustomed to travel in
Plane.
flight, we have economy class and
In
one more class,
business
class.
business class.
Somebody who has a habit of traveling business class, so he should keep that much money that he can afford business class rides whenever he wants.
No, he can afford first class next time. So he keep more.
And there are people who never travel by flight only. They just go by train only.
But when you are going on the right conduct, you will say, no, that I don't need this. I'm not going to take business class with me.
No, that's not possible because
so I am just giving you by saying little bit more. I'm giving you the option that don't be scared. Don't be scared that your every enjoyment will go away. No, you can.
No, sir.
Sorry, this is a dangerous question.
fell down. Share market fell down. So much of the money is wiped out, sir. Trillions
So,
of rupees.
so there is nothing in your hand. So why
No.
not leave it yourself? Why not leave
No,
it yourself?
sir, actually, sir, to go along with what Rajeshri ji said, basically, sir, abhi to it's not about greed. It's more like, first of all, you don't know at what rate the inflation is going to go up. Second, like, another recession is going to come.
So
So,
I planned my retirement at 4% interest. So when I retired, the interest rate was 8% and I planned it out for 4%. If the even interest becomes 4%, I will still be able to manage. And I predicted, I guessed it for the next 10 years. And now 10 years, 14 years has happened and still the interest rate is 7.5 today. So I had
No,
planned
sir.
at 4%.
Sir, you don't travel, sir. You don't travel. We people are traveling, I think so,
So,
every second
so
day we are
you have
traveling.
to look at your demands and your
Yeah.
wants, So it is like that. Only
So we
then
have to
But
set
you
our own
also are
boundaries.
thinking of their
even if
demands,
you
sir.
don't do it, you just have a thought that someday I will have it. That will be sufficient for you to
Sir, I was
increase
just
your
joking, sir.
purity. Yeah.
I was just joking. Just
Yeah,
take
that's
it
it. You
lightly. I
were
was
telling
just
something on
No,
this.
so in short, we have to set our own boundaries.
Yes, you have to set your own boundaries. What is that you desire? Now I am staying in a 2-bedroom hall kitchen flat, right? So the day I retired, I made a resolution that I don't want more. I will manage with this. I don't want a 4-bedroom hall kitchen flat. I had a Maruti Wagon-R. So I said I will be satisfied with this. I don't want a Mercedes. So all these things I had taken in my mind and then I retired. What I want. So I want quality time with Jinwani. So I had to forego all these things. You
so
cannot
your
have
family
everything.
was also very supportive. I think, like, sir, it's like,
Yeah.
one person taking decision, the other person
Yes.
also has
They
to
were
agree
all
to the
in
lifestyle.
sync with me. They were all in sync with me. And every now and then, if they ask for something more, extra expensive, then I say that you could have told me these things, though I would not have retired. I worked for 2 more years for you. Just joking sometimes. So whenever she carries a credit card for shopping and he swipes there and I get a message because card is mine. So I always tell him that when you swipe a card, I get a heart attack here. So we joke like that. But overall, we are all at one page. So that's why I was able to retire. Otherwise, the demands and wants are unlimited. Never you will be able to satisfy your desire. One desire is satisfied, there is another desire. Another desire get satisfied, then you have another desire. So that is not the solution. Solution is you experience yourself and be content in yourself. There is a satisfaction level available in the soul. So if you experience your soul, you will be satisfied. Always satisfied. You don't want more. So everything comes, but I'm just showing you a roadmap, at least you can have these things in your mind. And if the karms rise is of such kind, you will also can have it. But at least you should have thought in your mind.
So we have been told, like when we had the Vyakyans, we have taken round about 50 to 60 pratigyas. Only this
Okay.
much water, this many clothes a year, this much of gold. We have taken all that. We have taken all that. For lifelong, we have taken all that. Only
So
this
you have to observe that.
Yeah,
right?
we observe it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
observe it very well.
So same, similar.
Even vegetables and fruits, they say keep your maximum. So even we've kept the vegetables and fruits to the maximum. We will use only this many karke. We've done that.
Yeah. This is a very good way. So this will stop you from overindulgence, So there is very good saying that अगर आप नियम की रक्षा करोगे तो नियम आपकी रक्षा करेगा. Yeah. Priyanka ji.
No. So, sir, how do you this is through this is something that is done good, or what is it?
They have this Bara Vrat, and they have these things that you have in Svetambar. We have all those books, in which they tell us we have got 200 items. So you draw a line, ki bhai, how much you will keep of all that things. So we do. Like, if itna hi pani, like 2000 liters is too much. But we have an overhead tank, so we have to keep even that water in mind. So don't go by ship. I don't travel, by ship. I don't do that. So like there are a few things that you cut down, not going to the sea, because the sea is so vast. So I never go to a sea or swimming pool or nothing. So we bound ourselves a few limitations we have done. I have done for myself. Yeah.
Only thing is that you have not done a limit, set a limitation on stock market.
On stock market.
Right?
It fell. Yesterday we wanted to pick up some more because it went down 4,000 points. My daughter rang up, Mom, can we pick up some? I said, Beta, wait, don't go. It might go down further.
I will tell you very frankly, I am not invested 1 rupee in equity because that is not the money that I want in my home. So this is my personal, and I'll tell you an example. There were 2 friends of mine, both were working jointly in the stock market.
So we can close off the live recording.
Yeah. 1 minute.